Good afternoon, Rami. Uh, are you located in Vancouver, Canada? It's afternoon for you?
Yeah, it is almost afternoon for us. Yes, I'm glad to be here with you, Dr. Tony.
Okay, it's afternoon for me here. So sometimes I need to ask people because I'm talking to people around the globe, and sometimes it's morning for them, afternoon for me, or evening for them, morning for me. So thank you very much for accepting the course. I know how busy you are and sharing your experience and knowledge with our community, project management community and PMO community. It's a great thing to do. So it's like like a PMI said, giving back to the community. But thank you very much for your time. So I would like that you talk a little bit about who are Rami and what experience do you have and those kind of things, so we get in the context of the interview.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me, Dr. Tony. I'm so glad to be here with you today. And a little bit about me. I have a structural engineering background and project management as well, and over 19 years of experience in project management, business analysis, and management consulting. I started my career working in the academic field after I graduated from university. Then I moved to the Gulf region. I worked in Qatar for 7 years with one of the biggest companies in the Middle East. My core expertise back then was in construction project management. And then 7 years with this company, I was promoted and relocated to Shanghai, China, where I was responsible to establish supporting PMO for the organization, besides other businesses running there for the company. And this is where my engagement technically with PMO started gaining traction. After that, I moved from Shanghai to Ontario, Canada. I worked for a year there before moving to British Columbia in Canada as well. I work for a project management consultancy company on a full-time basis. We are technically PMO as a service, which is a new model that I'm seeing gaining traction between clients these days. And at the same time, I am running my own side gig in career coaching, management consulting, and professional development.
Oh, that's interesting. PMO as a service. That's the company that you work for. Oh, that's great.
This is technically what we do. The name of the company is Field and Martin Associates, but technically, if I tell you more about the model and how we do things, it is a PMO as a service, yes.
Oh, okay. That's great. Okay, so I'm gonna have a couple of questions for you. What are your greatest accomplishments in the PMO space that you feel proud of that?
My greatest accomplishment was when I went to Shanghai to establish a supporting PMO. The PMO there, like, you know, it's good. It's nice feeling when you start something almost from scratch. You grow it, establish it, get it to a place where it adds value to the organization. So when you see this materialize, which we've started seeing 8 months into the establishing of this PMO, that was a great feeling. We did everything automated. We established a huge database for suppliers in China. We established a department for estimation and standardization for all templates and processes, methodologies for construction. So this was a really great accomplishment. And, you know, maturity of the PMO takes time, takes years to grow. But we started seeing added value, which is different than maturity. We started to see added value 8 months into the after establishing the PMO, and it's a great feeling. And these days, this is like, it's up to this date, even though I left the organization, I still hear that it's adding lots of value. So the foundation upon which this PMO was built was very solid.
Oh, that's a great experience. So you have some challenges over there because the language, also the culture is some kind of difference. So how did you overcome those challenges in implementing the PMO over there in China?
It is extremely challenging. So one of the things that we did there, there are a few people who speak English, which was good. I had the HR manager and assistant there that used to work with me, speaks fluently English, so they used to translate for me. At the same time, when we used to interview people for our procurement department, let's say, because we did a centralized procurement department there, we used to offer them to teach them English for free, to send them to school to take basic English language. Because we look at those people for long term. We like to train people, build their capabilities so they can add value to the organization long term. So they were committed to us, we were committed to them. It was challenging. I'm not telling you it wasn't. It was extremely challenging when I first had to engage with suppliers myself, because the majority of the suppliers, majority of the organizations there, their English level is not as fluent as, for example, others.
Right.
But they try. They work hard. Every organization, they do have a representative who is fluent in English. So we managed to work around these hurdles. But these days also, it improved a lot. That's what I hear.
Yeah, well, that's great. So in that, the same token, PMO, they had a reputation that the organization, they create the PMO and 3 years after they kill it because they consider they don't add any value to the bottom line of the companies. So what do you think we need to do as a PMO leaders to continuously showing value, or the senior leadership of those organizations see the PMO as the organization that is indispensable for their business? So how we show value to them?
This is a very important question, Dr. Tony, and I totally agree with you. I've seen many organizations, they do kill their PMOs just shortly after they establish them. And the main reason for that is they feel there is a disconnect between what is needed by the stakeholders and what the actual PMO is delivering.
Right.
So my recommendation, and what I learned from my years of experience, is you should always continuously, either each 6 months or 1 year, reevaluate the strategic objectives for the organization and make sure that those strategic objectives are tied properly to the benefits and requirements that the PMO will be delivering. If there is a disconnect between what the organization needs and what the PMO is delivering, this is where it can be a difficult situation for the organization, and they might take a decision to just kill the PMO.
Okay. Yeah, you're talking about more about leadership, because how we as a leader connect with the senior level of the organization to convey the right message. And talking about leadership, what are the qualities of a PMO leader that you consider important for someone in that position, leading a PMO for an organization?
As a PMO leader, you have to have a flexible leadership style. And what I mean by flexible leadership style is you change your leadership style based on the teams you are overseeing. Some teams are, for example, might be new, they are in the forming stage. So you have to be a bit more directive. Other teams, they have been working for a long time, they are experienced. So your leadership style should be more facilitative, supportive. So when we manage PMOs, we manage different teams within the PMOs. So you could be meeting with one team where your leadership style is directive, another team, your leadership style is supportive and facilitative. And this is very important. You have to have a hybrid leadership style.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good concept, a hybrid type of leadership. Because now we have a hybrid type of work, or it's a combination of both traditionals and agile. So I totally agree with you. So we need to be flexible. We need to have a high level of emotional intelligence to deal with all kind of people and at different levels in the organization. So
exactly, emotional intelligence is very important.
Exactly. So there is a topic that we can we cannot ignore it, is the topic of AI, artificial intelligence. How do you see artificial intelligence? Because it's a revolution now with artificial intelligence in the project management arena and also in the PMO. So how do you envision artificial intelligence taking over a lot of stuff that we do now and in the future?
Well, there is no doubt that artificial intelligence is gonna have some impact, but I don't think it will fully take over the human factor. But before I dive into that, it is very industry dependent. For example, AI, the degree of which AI will take over in an IT industry might be much more than could take in a construction industry.
Mm-hmm.
Due to the nature of the activities and the projects. So I see AI taking over some repetitive functions in the PMO, like reporting, data analytics, this kind of things, trends, these kind of things. But to replace the human factor fully, I honestly, I mean, it might. I can't predict the future, but I doubt.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a tool. So I've been in the industry for many years. I have seen a lot of trends supposedly to taking over something. For example, when I was a software developer, I started in the late 70s. So they said by when the fourth generation languages came around, they said we don't need developers because the users, they're going to be able to develop their own systems. But still we need developers, software developers to do that job. So my last question that I have for you is about continual improvement. But this continual improvement is not process improvement, it's more about professional improvement. So what do you think about the PMO certification? Because we have project management certification for a long time. So now there is a lot of groups offering PMO certification for people. What do you think about it?
So I am very biased when it comes to professional development. I personally have more than 75 credentials from
75.
many different, yes, from many different organizations. So including some PMO certifications as well. Let me tell you something. Even though I have so many, when I took the PMO certifications, they added lots of value. It gives you a different perspective. Managing a PMO is a bit different than just doing project management or program management or portfolio management. It's a combination of all of those in one.
Yeah.
So I think you need some basic foundational knowledge with whether a course or a certification, just to give you the perspective of what does it take to establish a PMO. What does it take to grow the maturity, to assess the validity of the PMO, to assess the value that the PMO brings? It's a combination between strategy and project work and office work. So I would say it's all in one-stop shop.
Exactly. No, that's a great thing that you mentioned. That 75 credentials. I thought that I had a lot, but I don't have 75. I should have like 40, around 40 plus credentials. But I am still looking. So I have a PMO certification, but I am studying for another one. I am studying also to take the ProSci for change management certification. So I'm doing that. So so that means that you are very committed professionals and you have passion for what you do. So you always looking to improve and you always looking new knowledge, and we need to keep up with the trends. Now we need to know about AI. So there are some certification about artificial intelligence out there. There are certification about emotional intelligence out there. So there's a lot to learn. So that's a good thing that you believe that PMO certification are important.
They are very important, of course, and we live in a very rapidly evolving world. So if we don't stay ahead of the curve, we will not grow. So I always say to anybody that professional development is the new form of self-investment.
Right. Okay, I think that so we have a great conversation. So I would like to end asking you about your organization. Your organization is named RNK Coaching, and you have some. That's a very nice slogan. So developing your skills, building your career. So can you tell us a little bit about your organization and where people can reach out to you to see the services that you have and where they can go?
Of course, of course. This is my own company. It's RMK Coaching. I do career mentoring, professional development coaching, management consulting, and I provide guidance for individuals and organizations. If anybody wants to reach out to me, they can do so on LinkedIn or they can visit my website, www.rmkcoaching.com. There is all information there, my portfolio, credentials, articles, my services, everything is there. So
Yeah,
one-stop shop.
no, that was great. So I was impressed with all the credentials that you have, all the profile that you have in LinkedIn is impressive. So I
Thank you.
invite anyone that wanna have some conversation with Rami and know about his services, so you know where he can find it. So when we post this video, so he gonna make some comments so people will reach out to you easily. So thank you
Yeah,
very
for
much
sure.
for your precious times. I know how busy you are, and I appreciated everything that you discussed with the audience. I'm sure that they learned a lot from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony. It was great to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.